Have you ever heard of the Curse of the Pharaohs? A chilling tale of ancient magic and untimely deaths. It's a story that has captivated the world for a century, and it all began with one incredible discovery. In 1922, archaeologist Howard Carter peered into a dark, dusty tomb and uttered the famous words, "I see wonderful things." He had just found the final resting place of the boy king Tut. The discovery was an absolute sensation. Newspapers across the globe scrambled to cover the story, painting a picture of untold treasures and the mysteries of ancient Egypt. For the first time, the world was gripped by a full-blown Egyptomania. Carter's find didn't just rewrite history books. It sparked a global fascination with pyramids, hieroglyphs, and the pharaohs who ruled a civilization thousands of years ago. King Tut, a relatively minor pharaoh in his own time, was suddenly a worldwide celebrity. The media frenzy was so intense that it turned an archaeological dig into a global spectacle. But just as the world was celebrating, the story took a dark and mysterious turn. Only a few months after the tomb was opened, Carter's financial backer, Lord Carnarvon, died suddenly in Cairo. The cause, an infected mosquito bite that led to blood poisoning. It was a tragic, but not entirely uncommon, death. However, the timing was just too perfect for the sensationalist press. The narrative quickly shifted from a story of discovery to one of a deadly curse. Newspapers ran wild with the story. They claimed an ancient inscription at the tomb's entrance warned, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king." Suddenly, the curse of the pharaohs was born. The public was hooked. Was Lord Carnarvon the first victim of an ancient king's revenge? The story spread like wildfire, capturing the imagination of millions and forever linking Tutankhamun's name with a tale of supernatural vengeance. It was the perfect blend of history, mystery, and a touch of the macabre. The media frenzy only intensified with more strange reports. One of the most famous stories was about Howard Carter's pet canary. On the very day the tomb was unsealed, the little bird was reportedly eaten by a cobra. In ancient Egypt, the cobra was a symbol of the pharaohs, a protector of the king. To the public, this wasn't a coincidence. It was a clear omen. A sign that the spirits of the tomb had been disturbed and were now lashing out. As the years went on, the list of victims grew. Any person even remotely connected to the tomb who met an untimely end was added to the curse's tally. There was the radiologist who x-rayed the mummy and died a year later. A visitor to the tomb who supposedly died of a fever. Each death, no matter how explainable, was sensationalized and woven into the growing legend. The curse became a self-fulfilling prophecy, fueled by public fascination and a media eager to sell papers. But how much of this is actually true? Let's take a step back and look at the facts. Skeptics are quick to point out a major flaw in the curse narrative. The people who should have been the primary targets were largely unaffected. Howard Carter, the man who physically broke the seal and spent a decade cataloging the thousands of artifacts inside, lived for another 17 years, dying at the age of 64 from natural causes. And he wasn't the only one. Dr. Douglas Derry, who performed the first autopsy on Tutankhamun's mummy, lived until 1969, well into his 80s. Lord Carnarvon's own daughter, Lady Evelyn Herbert, was one of the first people to enter the burial chamber alongside Carter. She lived to be 78. When you actually look at the survival rates of the core excavation team, you find they lived, on average, for over 20 years after the discovery. The numbers just don't support the idea of a supernatural curse systematically taking out everyone involved. So if it wasn't a curse, what was going on? Why did so many people connect these deaths to the tomb? This is where modern science offers a fascinating and frankly, much creepier explanation. When a tomb is sealed for over 3,000 years, it becomes a perfect incubator for all sorts of microscopic life. Think about it. It's static, undisturbed, and contains organic material like food offerings, wooden furniture, and of course, a mummy. Scientists have found that ancient tombs can be home to dangerous molds and bacteria. One of the prime suspects is a fungus called certain species, like Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus niger, are known to thrive in such environments. When disturbed, these fungi release microscopic spores into the air. If inhaled, especially by someone with a weakened immune system, these spores can cause severe, and sometimes fatal respiratory infections. A condition known as asp. Could Lord Carnarvon have been a victim of this tomb mold? It's certainly plausible. He was already in poor health following a serious car accident years earlier. His immune system would have been compromised, while his official cause of death was an infected mosquito bite. Exposure to a high concentration of fungal spores inside the stuffy tomb could have weakened him further, making him more susceptible to a fatal infection. It's a chilling thought. The curse might not have been magical, but biological. The idea of pathogens in the tomb isn't just speculation. Modern archaeologists are well aware of the risks. Today, when excavating sealed tombs, it's common practice for researchers to wear protective gear, including masks and sometimes even full hazmat suits. They understand that the real danger isn't a pharaoh's curse, but the unseen biological threats that have been waiting in the dark for millennia. Research into these tomb microbes is an active field. Some studies have suggested that ancient bacteria, trapped for thousands of years, could also be a source of illness. These are pathogens our modern immune systems have never encountered, making them potentially very dangerous. It is a stark reminder that the ancient world can still pose very real threats to the modern one. The legend of the curse may have been born from superstition, but it could have its roots in a genuine scientific phenomenon. Interestingly, the story doesn't end there. While some of these ancient fungi are dangerous, others might hold the key to new medical breakthroughs. Scientists are now studying the unique properties of microbes found in extreme environments like ancient tombs. Just as penicillin was discovered from a common mold, it's possible that these ancient organisms could produce unique compounds with powerful antibiotic or anti-cancer properties. It is a strange and wonderful irony. The very thing that may have fueled the myth of a deadly curse could one day be used to save lives. The tomb of Tutankhamun continues to give us gifts, just not in the way anyone expected. So, the curse of the pharaohs, was it a supernatural hex, a media-fueled fantasy, or a deadly biological reality? The truth, as it often is likely a mix of all three. The sensational headlines captured the world's attention, but the science provides a compelling, and perhaps even more terrifying, explanation. The story of King Tut's tomb is more than just a tale of gold and glory. It's a powerful lesson in how myth is made, and a reminder that sometimes the most incredible truths are hidden in plain sight, or in this case, in the very air we breathe. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back to ancient Egypt. If you enjoyed this dive into history and mystery, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more stories from the past. Let me know in the comments what you thinkers or science. See you next time.